Week 6 of The Artist's Way, we're covering a sense of abundance. This week, Julia writes about your connection, your relationship with kind of spirituality, but also with abundance and creative abundance. So, money abundance and creative abundance, which I really love that she kind of looked at abundance from various different angles. It was a very short chapter, and the first half of the chapter, for me, there wasn't too much in there personally. The things she wrote about were the kind of relationship people have with kind of the creator, with their spirituality, or where the kind of abundance comes from. And that wasn't a topic that I kind of connected with personally, but there was still a lot of good information in there. So it might have not been for me, but it can definitely be for you. And there was one paragraph which I wanted to read to you, which I found a wonderful reminder, and I found there was quite something there. She writes, "What we really want to do is what we are really meant to do. When we do what we are meant to do, money comes to us, doors open for us, we feel useful, and the work we do feels like play to us." So it is a reminder that, when we really follow our dreams, the things that we are really meant to do, doors can open for us. And she has been mentioning this in the previous chapters. I know I've been talking about it, right? But then also it begs the questions, if we do start doing the things that we think we want to do, or if we feel strongly about, but the doors don't open for us, what is the reason behind that? I think that is also kind of a really big question. And being now halfway through this book, so because this is week 6, I've done this, and having had some changes or trying out some new things, which is what this entire book is about, right? Trying new things, giving yourself artistic freedom. I've found for myself, I discovered that I also really like writing. I've written a feature film script. I've started now writing a small book, a fiction book, and I'm starting to really enjoy that. So I'm trying out new things and seeing kind of where that leads me. And I do hope for myself, but I also hope for everyone, who reads this, everyone who watches this, that we'll be able to find the things that we are really meant to do, where it just feels like a flow and it will feel like play to us. I think that is a very beautiful promise, but it isn't as easy as it seems when you just read it, if you know what I mean. Hopefully, I'm making sense. Next, she writes about luxury, and luxury not in the sense, or not in the particular sense of having that penthouse or having all the things that you would possibly want or could possibly want, but it is also the luxury of creating time, giving yourself time to explore your artistic freedom, to spend time with your family, with loved ones, just doing things that you enjoy, or treating yourself to something small, which can be a £10 brush for your paintings, right? Where you normally say, oh, well, that's too much, I can't do that. And that for me was a good reminder to create more space for things just besides my artistic exploration that then will again fuel my artistic journey. So in the part about luxury, she writes, the key work here is authentic, because art is born in expansion, in a belief in sufficient supply. It is critical that we pamper ourselves for the sense of abundance it brings to us. And yeah, again, a lovely reminder to feel and be in the luxury, even if it's just like small, And it doesn't need to be the conventional luxury, whatever that luxury might be to you. Something small can be something feel or turn into something greater and bigger. And she also goes on and writes, declining the small gifts of life, we turn aside the larger gifts as well. So being mindful that something small, again, can turn into a big opportunity. Following up on luxury, she then goes into counting and exercise. So for 1 week, she wants you to write down every single thing that you spend your money on, whether it be groceries or going to the cinema, whatever it is, and really write down every amount to understand, where kind of you're spending your money. Are you maybe treating yourself to something lovely, or I think also it's a great exercise to understand what do I think my financial priorities are and what are my actual financial priorities, and am I spending my money in that way. I've done a lot of work about money mindset, also about finances in general, so this wasn't a complete new exercise, because she also then goes on and gives you an exercise where you can explore your relationship with money and your beliefs about money, and the beliefs about that other people have about money that you are close to, because that can also really influence you heavily. So if you haven't done that much work around money and abundance or finance, then those exercises can be really, really helpful for you and can be really, really eye-opening. So do not skip these. And that was already everything that was in this chapter. So yeah, it was quite short. And yeah, onto the tasks. I did my morning pages every single day. One day I did them in the evening just before going to bed, because it was, internally struggling or not quite sure if I wanted to do them, but I knew I should do them. And when I did them, I did work through a couple of things. So yeah, so far in 6 weeks, over 6 weeks now, I haven't skipped a single day, which I find really impressive. And I'm very proud of myself. And if you made it this far and you've stuck to it, even if you left out a day here or left out a day there, that's completely fine. But if you mostly stuck to them, I think that is really impressive, and I'm very proud of you. And then the outer state, I went and got myself a book, which is this one here, Crave by Sarah Kane. And that was really lovely, because I'm writing at the moment and there were a couple of lines in there which gave me some inspiration. And I went to a very specific bookshop, which had a lot of character to it, which was also really lovely. So yeah, I spent my art estate treating myself and affording myself the luxury of getting myself just a play that I'm probably only going to read once. And then the tasks. So for me this week, the tasks, I really, really enjoyed them. There were some really, really lovely tasks in here. One was to pick either flowers or leaves and just press them in a book. And I got myself three, and one of them is this one here. I've also got myself this one, and some leaves from a tree. And that was just a really lovely exercise. There wasn't any kind of particular reason behind it. It just brought me joy, and I haven't done that for years. And again, I think this is what the book is about, and just discovering new things or things that bring you joy and you like doing. Then I also really like the exercise of baking and maybe getting some inspiration from that. I made a lemon drizzle cake, which was incredibly yummy, which I was quite surprised. It was a very basic recipe, and it wasn't, I didn't have to do too many things, but it was simple and it was absolutely fucking delicious, if I might say so myself. And then there was also exercises about financial abundance and paying attention. Is there maybe something that shifted this week with money? The one thing that happened to me, which felt like a nice nod, was I won £5 in the lottery. And that is everything that this chapter had. It was short, but still very knowledgeable. And depending on where you are with abundance or with your personal finances, it offered you different opportunities to explore. With that, let's look at a card for this week. We have a card which is Guardian Angel. Okay, Guardian Angel, I had to read that, what that was about, but it is basically knowing that, especially if you're someone who feels like they need to do everything by themselves and there's no outside help, depending on what your spiritual beliefs are, but you can ask your guardian angel or whoever that they that they help you, and it encourages you to have a conversation about things that you need help with, and no ask is too much. Yeah, maybe take some time out to have a conversation, even just with yourself, what you need help with, and voicing it out loud sometimes helps to work through things. That is everything I have for you this week. And next week, I'll be back with recovering a sense of connection. Until then, have a lovely day. Bye.